Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck Spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at Jeleniowaty's OTK Priest. Jeleniowatyy, one of our favourite content creators. Definitely go check them out on YouTube, on Hearthstone, anywhere you can, on Twitch of course. Just a fantastic, chilled out guy who often comes up with very, very sweet decks, and this one is no exception. Top 300 Legend is the call on this one. And it's doing some very interesting things. For those of you who have not seen OTK Priest before, this is a very old school style of OTK, in a fire divine spirit OTK, which means we're going to try and land a big chunky lad, you know, something like a grave horror here with its 8 toughness. We're then going to hit it with a divine spirit, hit it with another divine spirit, making it go up to 32 toughness, give it an inner fire, that's a 32-32. Hopefully you can attack that turn, and then you turn your opponent into a fine mist. The great thing about OTK Priest is there's a lot of great big minions that we can play, and they synergize extremely well with resurrection effects, and the one that we'll be using today is Mass Resurrection. Summon 3 friendly minions that died this game, so if we do summon a Witchwood Grizzly or a Damaged Stegatron, which usually come into play with 6 toughness or some amount of toughness, they're going to come back fully healed, ready to go. They do have taunt, so your opponent's probably not going to kill you through that much beef worth of boy. And then next turn you can look to turn the tides with a Divine Hymn to heal everything up, and then the aforementioned Divine Spirit Inner Fire combo. So there's a lot to like here, and I think Jeleniowatyy is, like I said, an excellent deck creator. I think what we saw, particularly towards the end of the last expansion, is a lot of these priests trying to get away with playing as little early game as possible, really cutting down on all of the single targeted removal. Jeleniowatyy has said stuff that we're playing 2 Shadow Word Pain, 2 Shadow Word Death, 2 Forbidden Words, the full, I think that's like the maximum amount of single targeted removal that you can play. So I think we're very unlikely to die in the early game, as long as we mulligan quite well. The other sacrifice that this deck makes to play Mass Resurrection is there's no early game minions in here. I guess Jeleniowatyy wanting to make sure that we have the highest potency in our dead pool. Unfortunately, if you do play Northshire Cleric, Wild Pyromancer, these types of things, you risk resurrecting them. And that can be particularly bad if your game plan relies on getting those chunky lads into play and hitting them with spells. Because you can't hit them with spells if they're not in play. Now, Sengchua in chat does mention, what about the 8 mana 2/14 with Divine Shield? I believe you're talking about the Mosh Og Enforcer. It's this lad right here. This was I guess a bit of a staple for those Wall Priest decks in the last expansion, but instead Jeleniowatyy is trying out this Grave Horror, which we talked about before, the 7/8 Taunt. Costs 1 less for each spell you've cast this game. I guess it will find out pretty quickly just how many spells we do end up casting in that early game. How often are we going to be casting 5 spells before turn 7 or something like that? I imagine that's about where you want it to be to drop it on turn 7. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this one. I think there's plenty of other replacements that we could experiment with, like Mosh Og Enforcer. I actually kind of like the idea of Amani Warbear, just to give the deck a little bit of immediate impact on board. 7 toughness isn't that high, but we can use it as a removal spell in that early game and hope to transition in the late game to using it as damage or something like that. And of course we could be playing things like Ysera and other types of things, but possible that Jeleniowatyy realised that taunts are the way to go, that we really just don't want to die the turn after we cast a Mass Resurrection. Other than that, there's some interesting things in here. Archmage Vargoth, Katrina Muerte, both very good value cards, particularly Vargoth with Mass Resurrection, can be 6/6. Looking forward to pulling that one off. Regardless, yeah, I think, like we were saying, the main thing we want to keep an eye out for is these Grave Horrors compared to other minions that we could be playing, how many spells we're casting in the early game, and I also want to pay attention to this Holy Nova, just how good that is. We are playing both Holy Nova and Mass Hysteria, so I really think that we should be safe in the early game with all this removal, but time will tell, and the time is now. Let's go.
I foresaw
this
encounter.
Up against the Rogue here. I think we'll keep the Death and the... Ooh. Maybe not Holy Nova against Rogue. think we'd rather find our mass hysteria. Anyway, this episode's comment comes from Hajloon, and it's
Job's done.
it talks about his name, which we were struggling, or their name rather, we were struggling to pronounce. Name is a problem for people from other countries. It's so funny how they spell it. Thanks for making the video. Can I put you into the deck description? Of course. If you are a content creator out there, or you've got decks that you've sent me or anything like that, feel free to put that video anywhere. Feel free to chuck it in the description, link it to all your whatevers. Feel free to put it in a bin. Do whatever you need to. But Hajloon, definitely love spreading the positivity. Love seeing these positive comments in the comment section. So thank you very much. Back to the game. Not much going on. These grave horrors. I'm still a bit dubious on these.
Halt! Who goes there?
Interesting thing here. Do we use the Shadow Word Pain because it has restrictive targeting? Save this Forbidden Words just in case.
What do the cards
Or
say?
do we use the Forbidden Words now? We still have Death or Pain in the wings. And these are a bit, especially Pain is a lot easier to deploy with something else. Not sure how I feel about that. Not sure how I feel about that. I guess the difficulty is that Rogue does have some 4 mana minions that are difficult to deal with, and that Forbidden Words was probably our only shot. But we are going to get this Grizzly down. Hopefully, it'll take a hit of this Waggle pick.
Blood and plunder.
Maybe block this Dread Corsair a bit.
Blood and plunder.
Let's go Ziliax here, actually. I think we might be able to get a Grizzly down, say, maybe on turn 7, go Grizzly Pain. We've got their 4/3 minion. Yeah, I mean, the 4/3 is not so much of a threat, as in it'll grow out of proportion. And it matches up very poorly against all of our minions. But it is something that we should have considered. Opponent's got that weird interaction with the Dread Corsair, where I think you really want to trade the Dread Corsair off, play a Battle Cry, and then hit with the pick. Well, our opponent's going ham here.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
Okay. I think we do have to go like Death Pain here. It's awkward. It's SI7. Avis to the dome. Definitely feeling like there's a Leroy in our future. So let's go Witchwood Grizzly. Get a heal off. We might be able to stabilize between on Jeleniowatyy, especially if they use this waggle pick charge. They get the other deckhand. Ooh, yuck. Not looking good, folks. Yeah, I guess we just have to go Katrina and hope. Or do we go Grizzly heal?
What do the cards say?
Maybe Grizzly heal gives us a better chance. Although Katrina will bring back Ziliax, which is a really good one. Alright, we'll go for Katrina.
Unity, precision, perfection.
I think we die if our opponent has a like Sap Leroy or even Leroy SI7. I think we probably die. The Witchwood Grizzly is better if they have to rely on actually doing damage with minions. If they do trade with the Katrina, it's very good though. So we can Mass Resurrection next turn, bring it back. So our opponent mathing. What's that I hear? Is that cogs turning? Never a good sign. Opponent's sitting there with their little damage abacus. Flipping beads back and forth. Oh, let's see if they figured it out. Oh, that's very dangerous. They did have the SI7 too. But they are using the pick to take out Katrina. I think we're feeling pretty good here. Ziliax is just incredible. Incredible. Especially when you have 3 of them. Oh my gosh, is our opponent going to take out this Katrina as well? Can they do it?
Halt! Who goes there?
Young Thug. Oh. I think we might have lethal then? No. Close. If we draw Power Wedge Shield, we do.
Who goes there?
Foreboding words. Well, let's just double check. So this goes to 16. Katrina will bring back another Ziliax next turn. I think we just trade. Lethal? Don't tell me I have lethal. You dog. I better not have lethal. I swear I was 2 off. I was 2 off, right?
That is impossible.
Right? I was 2 off. It's 8 doubles to 16. And then we have 3, and they're on 21. 16 plus 3. 19, not 21. Oh, if I miss lethal. Oh, I'm never going to live it down. All the comment questions I'm going to have to answer are all going to be, why did you miss lethal?
Incredible.
Well, you see, my abacus, my damage abacus, wasn't working very well. Alright, we have them now. We'll do it with Katrine.
Dance till you're dead. Dance till you're dead.
Tight. Definitely, I think we probably should have thought a little bit more about that Forbidden Words Shadow Word Pain situation, but I think we made the right choice. That even if our opponent did follow up with the 4-3, we were probably going to just drop a Witchwood Grizzly and be happy about it. Or as happy as we could be, but yeah, GG's. Well played. Okay, here we are with Jeleniowaty's OTK Priest. Now, we're definitely going to send back that Inner Fire. Definitely going to keep this Shadow Word Pain. Powered Shield. This is not something that I thought about during the initial introduction, but obviously without a lot of early game minions, this really does nothing for us. And I don't think we want to be powered shielding our opponent's minions just to draw cards. Considering we can just send this back and draw a card right now. I think that's what we'll do. Just looking for more removal. Yeah. Yeah, just like that. See what our opponent's up to. Most of these mage lists have been big mage, which I can imagine being maybe a bit of a toss-up matchup.
Amazing.
I think these mages can get a lot of presence early on. Not presence, not early on, but they can get a lot of presence very quickly. And we really don't do anything to stop that, other than, you know, having a removal the turn after. That being said, this mage is probably going to give us enough time to do our thing, so guess we'll find out. This is pretty scary, especially if our opponent is onto us. Also, this Witchwood Grizzly is going to be very small. Let's think about how our next couple of turns are going to play out. We probably want to drop this Witchwood Grizzly next turn, so I don't think we want to...
What must I do?
I guess we're okay leaving this in play for a turn. Witchwood Grizzly, our opponent takes it out. When we're going to mass Hysteria probably afterwards. Or we could Shadow Word Pain now, and then Grizzly next turn.
What must I do?
We can play it a bit greedy here.
Need a key?
Pretty scary. Very, very scary. We do definitely want to probe for a counterspell or something before we decide to deploy any of our too expensive, any of these Holy Novas or Mass Hysterias.
I wonder.
I remember someone saying that they've been playing too much Arena, and they kept trying to rearrange the cards in their hand.
Welcome to the show.
Okay. Opponent may be setting up for a Junalai here. Ooh, putting that sheep in our Deadpool and getting another draw off the Pyromania. It's pretty tasty. I mean, we could. Be pretty risky though. I think maybe we just want to pair this with like Divine Hymn, possibly Powered Shield. Although this is looking like a hole in overboard. Wonder what secret our opponent took there.
Science overwhelming.
That's not what we wanted. That's definitely not what we wanted. Maybe Ice Barrier? Could be Ice Barrier. Oh no. It's like, hopefully it's a 5 attack minion. We could Vargoth Death.
Amazing.
Free of that blasted tower! Behold!
Spellbinder? Could be Spellbinder. I don't think we've targeted a minion with anything. That's true. Ice Barrier, Spellbinder. What else?
I wonder.
It's not Frozen Clone or anything. We are really going to need to draw our mass resurrection sometime soon, though. Even Jeleniowatyy could be okay. Really don't want to get any more sheep into that. Jinxed it. Damn it! Ah, the Ovinomancer over here. Damn.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Alright, let's see if it is Spellbinder. It's not. Definitely did think that we had a Shadowed Pain in our hand.
My calculations are flawless.
Pain.
Require my assistance?
Well, that's a pretty good one, huh?
Aha!
Uh-oh.
Amazing.
Amazing indeed.
What do the cards say?
I
Hello?
think the cards say I'm dead. Madame Lazul. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, we're giving them the well played. We definitely goofed there playing that Inner
was
Fire.
your
Not the Inner Fire, the
destiny.
Powered Shield. I did think we had a Shadowed Death in our hand. Shadowed Pain in our hand to kill that Ziliax. Obviously, we could have played the Grave Horror and then just Powered Shielded onto that. That would have been a much better play, but GG's.
I foresaw this encounter.
Alright, up against another rogue here. Keep this Shadowed Death. Human Mustard, what is going on? Welcome, welcome. We are playing some of Jeleniowaty's OTK Priest. Big, beefy lads. I'm enjoying this deck so far. I think the mulligan's very interesting, with just mulliganing purely for this early game removal, as opposed to like Northshire Clerics and other such things. Is just a very different experience. My light shall burn you.
Thank you. Thank you.
3 drop? Miscreant? Okay. Actually very keen to play like a carpet rogue, lackey rogue kind of deck in the future. Hopefully we see one pop up over on Hearthstone sometime soon.
From nothing.
Game teeth. Fortunately our removal not matching up well, but our opponent didn't find the transform lackey, which I think is the most dangerous one in this situation. Though Discovery Spell is also quite terrifying. Both Mass Hysterias I think is a good sign. Guess we gotta hope that this isn't like a tack deck. What is this? Shiv. Shenanigans are afoot. Do we go for the Ziliax here? Probably not. I think the Ziliax is so much more valuable, especially against rogues with the amount of like Blink Foxes and SI7s and stuff that end up sticking around. You can usually get a really good trade.
This guy's toast.
Yeah. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, Human Mustard, let us know what you've been up to. What decks have you been enjoying from Rise of Shadows? Any exciting cards? Any other games that you're playing?
Unity. Precision.
Oh no!
Perfection.
Counter Ziliaxed. 4 Ziliaxes. Working on something interested? Something interesting? It's not done yet, so soon, hopefully. Okay. Now that Togwaggle is gone, I gotta find new memes. That's true. Well, I think it kind of sucks that Togwaggle went, but you know what? He had his time in the sun with Azalina. And yeah, I think you'll find something just as memey. This looks very Miracoli. I think we're going to get a little bit dunked by whatever our opponent wants to do. We just got to hope that what we are doing is better. And chuck a heal on this, even though it's very likely to die or get bounced back or whatever. Make it a little bit more threatening. Still got Lawwalker Cho, so that's good. That you do have. Prep. Prep what?
Double time and double pay.
Prep sprint. What? Academic espionage? Prep eviscerate, okay. No more preps. Alright, well. I think we might have learned our lesson. See if we can bait a little bit of removal out of our opponent. Nice throne. Have a treasure, friend. What did they take? Yep, got a million toggle levels. Yep. Hopefully we don't burn a mass resurrection.
My hand is full.
That really sucks. I mean, putting a bunch of Togwaggles into the deck is fine. Oh! Well. Well. It's a bunch of Leroys.
Ha, this guy's toast.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
Oh no! Ugh. That's the one thing we didn't want to have happen. To have the 2-2 go into the 3-3.
Well
Yep.
played.
Ugh. Brutal. But
Ha,
that's
this
definitely going to be a
guy's
downside of the deck, is that we do take a long time to do anything. So if our opponents have a game plan, they're usually going to get to execute it, unless that game plan is to just try and kill us as soon as possible. So well played to our opponent. They did very well setting up that Togwell. I will say that they kind of burned a lot of cards there, but I mean, we let them draw all those cards. Anyway, GG's. Okay, we're here with Jeleniowaty's OTK Priest. After playing a couple of games, I do like a lot of what the deck's trying to do. I think that if you're in a position in the ladder where you're facing a lot of very dedicated aggressive decks, or a lot of decks where this kind of deck can kind of go over the top of them, then like a lot of mid-range decks, I think this deck definitely goes over the top of. I think this is a great deck to play. Where I wouldn't play it is maybe if you are seeing a lot of combo decks, or a lot of decks where, you know, if you... Probably a lot of decks that are trying to do the same thing that we are, which is not really do a lot early game, but instead have a lot of really high impact late game things. I think if they're doing that and it's a bit more maybe proactive than you are, or they can do it more, you know, something where, you know, 2 Holy Novas, 2 Mass Hysterias can't possibly bail you out of that situation. I think that's where you don't want to be playing this deck. As far as the individual card choices go, I really like everything. I like not the idea of, you know, not having that early game in order to maximize our late game. But I do think that this Grave Horror was really, really awkward. There were certainly some games where we would have really valued having something like an Armani Warbear. Just like a rush minion, immediate impact on board. Also, you know, we saw how good Ziliax was, and, you know, Armani Warbear does have a lot of similarities to Ziliax in what it does. Fits the curve as well. So I think that's something that I would try experimenting with. Outside of that, I mean, Vargoth, we didn't get to do the really cool thing with Mass Resurrection in Vargoth, but still I think it was it's worth the slot. Other than that, yeah, I think that's about all we really want to say. We did get to Divine Spirit Inner Fire someone out of the game, but it almost feels like we would have won those games anyway, just with the amount of value and with the amount of chunky bodies that we had at the end. So I'd almost consider like cutting one of these Inner Fires or something like that. Regardless, Jeleniowatyy is the top 300 legend with this deck, so definitely take everything that I'm saying with a grain or a fistful of salt. They're the legend, we're the pleb. Regardless, big shout out to Jeleniowatyy. Definitely go check them out on all of their different sources. If you are watching on YouTube, all the links are in the description, including a link over to the Hearthstone deck article. Please jump over there, give Jeleniowatyy a +1, and leave a lovely, thoughtful comment, like I know you will. You can also find my details down there as well. Best place to catch me is on Twitter at Tommy_Wave. If you've got a sweet deck, a real sweet deck from the Rise of Shadows expansion, you can pop it on over there, chuck me a DM, and I'll check the deck out. But until next time, please stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, and speak the shadow words. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.